next lesson in this little foil, learn to foil session. It's been 30 something hours that I've been out there on the prone foil board and learning it. And so just getting the hang of this, so there's a bunch of things that I've learned along the way that I think are actually really important to share. So hopefully this is of some value to you in this little series. Now, what was I going to talk about next? So we've talked about safety, we've talked about choice of board, we've done some e-foiling, so we've got the hang of it, and now we're actually ready to actually undertake some sort of foiling activity. We're actually ready to go out and get on our first wave. Now, I've been lucky through Konrad and James that's behind that business. He's gave me quite a good deal of coaching before I actually hit the waves, and been there to encourage me and talk about some of the basics about weight distribution and those sort of things. But one thing let's talk about now is actually just the position of the foil and the track here. Now I'll actually drag it up in front of the camera a little bit more so you can probably see it there. But that track system, and I'll bring it right in. There we go. Hopefully that's picking it up. See, we've got a numbering system there, and on the back of the or where the track goes for this to actually mount up. And you can see I'm actually just at a 1.5. The advice I got was to start on, say, a 2, and I actually didn't. I went a little bit further back. Now, what does that actually mean? What that actually means is that the further back the foil is, and you mount your mast, the less lift you've got, because this surface here is trying to kick them up. And so, the further back that is, the more that your weight on the front of the board, it's going to keep the board down. So, the pros and the gurus, and depending what your rough form, what you're experienced and what you're excited by, you're going to find yourself putting the actual mast track further forward. But what I've done is after a couple of lessons I settled on this 1.5 position on this particular unit, and I've stuck with it. While some people said, oh, maybe you need to go a bit further back, maybe you need to go a bit further forward. No, the twitchiness of the actual lift generated by the foil surfaces, which you've probably looked at and read about and seen other videos about, is the big deal is that once you get the hang of this particular position, I think as a beginner, you don't want much variance, you don't want many things to change. So by staying at 1.5, I've kind of got the hang of it, and I've kind of, very quickly got to understand where it's going. Okay, so anyway, that's a really important point to hear. Now, in terms of all this looking after this kit, as well, I'm just touching on the sort of the assembly here. As I have been advised, there is disparate metals here. You've got some stainless screws, but the T40 is the typical thing. There's usually a T-track, a dual T-track here to mount. So carbon, stainless, alloy, fiberglass. So one thing I've been advised to do is make sure you actually break this unit down after usage. So that's going to give you longevity, because as we know, dissimilar metals and those sorts of things are going to react a little bit, and you're going to introduce some corrosion into your rig. And obviously we don't want that. So for the most part, I break off and take apart the mast from the glider, and then take the front foil off and put that all the way of an afternoon after I've had a bit of a go. So that's probably all I need to touch on here. But one thing for me is I've selected a mast track position well back as a beginner and stayed there and until I get the confidence to actually then start to move the track forward, and so I can actually fly higher and generate more lift. So that's enough for this video. We'll see you in the next one.